Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. I got Arkham waiting. I'll just want to explain what this video is all about, and then we'll talk. So first off, this is it. This is an open invite. I like to talk to people. I like to have people on. I think I do better, riffing off of somebody rather than monologuing. So yes. Second off, Heroic Tales 2 is I just stopped talking to Bill. The lettering is pretty much done. The lettering is done. Right after this video, I'm just gonna give it one last read through, make sure that sometimes there's a little mess up, like whatever, a word balloon is facing the wrong character or something like that. My editor said there was only 2 typos, which is a personal record for me. I'm notoriously poor speller, so you know I'm thanking spell check more than me being any good. So and then Luke Stone is working on the letters page and like a merchandise page, and then we're gonna assemble it. We'll get the final page count, and then I got a couple of fake ads like I did in the first issue because I got around it so that it's divisible by 4. That and then pre-press. I get the PDF. I'm hoping next week. And let me ask you guys: should I start sending the digital files immediately? Because issue 1, I didn't send any digital files until I literally put the first mailer, Gemini mailer, in the mailbox. I just thought it would be like unfair for the digital people to get it that much quicker, because I had the digital file like done like a month beforehand because it takes a while to print. And so what do you guys think? Should I send it out PDFs immediately as soon as it's done, or should I wait until I get the physical books in my hand? I don't know. I have a bias towards the physical books, so where my answer is. But let me ask you guys. All right, so that's all the news on Heroic Tales 2. The script for Heroic Tales 3 is written, and I didn't realize, man, Heroic Tales 3 is going to be one violent, gory comic book. Oh, man. The Mary Sue story is a horror story, and the Raven story is just gritty street-level vigilante story. Oh, my God. When you take the patriarch out of it, Mr. Sunlight and Happiness and Well-Adjusted Family, it is going to be, I mean, nothing you haven't seen in 80s Marvel and DC, with the Punisher and Doctor Strange and stuff like that. But man, it's night and day, the difference. It's quite funny actually, because well, whatever. I'm proud of both stories, but I really, something about Mary Sue. Oh my, you guys, you're gonna love this character. You're gonna love this character. And the Raven, just picture Batman, but without the moral compass, or the intelligence, or the restraint. This is gonna be fun. So I will go down. I'll say hello to everybody. Oh, I might as well bring in Arkham. How you doing, Arkham? Arkham. Oh, of course I bring him in now while he went to go get a coffee or something.
That's exactly what I was doing.
Oh, you're drawing while we're doing this?
Yeah, do you mind?
No, not at all. Not at all. Is that what I asked you to draw? I don't want to give.
Yeah, no. What I'm doing is I'm doing like 4 or 5 sketches. Nothing
Okay.
like here's one.
Okay. Well, don't give it away. But Arkham is drawing one of my stories.
Okay, well, I'll work on something else. So this doesn't.
No, that's fine. I just don't want the name or other than it's based on Greek mythology and superheroes. But other than that, until we're ready to announce it, I don't want to announce it. Gotcha, the official titles or anything like that.
I'm going to show you. Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry, guys.
And another story that I'm working on is probably going to be done a lot faster than I thought. So a lot of stuff happening at Longbox Comics. No, you don't have to hide it away. Everybody knows you're drawing a beautiful girl. There's nothing wrong with a beautiful girl. But the way I work with is but Arkham got my script. We talked about it. He asked if he could change this, he could change that, whatever. I'm not a tyrant. I whatever makes the artist happy, and if it makes sense, that's cool. And then after he did like one page, and then I said, okay, let's do the main characters. Let's flesh out the main characters because it helps me picture them, and it helps me think, okay, the artist, we're in sync now. So I do that with everybody, and then we use those to make the trading cards.
Mhm.
That's so. Those of you who are watching, you know what I'm doing. So I'm going to go down the list of all the comments, and then I'm going to explain what exactly I'm doing tonight. So we got Ben Samar, voice actor. Good evening. How you doing? Zach Tan with my blessing. I'm not even joking. I stress out until I get my blessing from Zach Tan. I also get my greetings from Raleigh, North Carolina, from Kojo. Like it, it's funny, but these are comforting to me when I get these messages. I generally get the physical version, but I don't care with the digital folks. Okay. Yeah. If anybody's watching this in the future, comment about this in the description. You did it right with issue 1. What did I do? The comic itself or the digital distribution? Blue skies with some patchy clouds. Yes. Hi everyone, awake for the stream. Cool. Okay, that's all the comments. So what am I doing? Well, Creative Welshman, who's been on my channel a few times, he directed me to this channel, a Drink with Crazy. And what Drink with Crazy did in this particular episode is they asked the audience, the chat, to just give them either a name of a superhero, a super or super being, because I'm going to turn some of them into villains. So the name of a super being or a power or an origin, but only one. You can't, if you do all three, then you just made up the character. And then they, on the spot, created a character. And it was a lot of fun. Creative Welshman understands how I am about the superhero name defining everything. So he was like, check this out. I think you might enjoy it. And I have an hour drive to work, and I put it on. And I got to say, I was smiling and enjoying it the whole time. And I watched it to work, and I watched it on the way back. And then during the 8 hours at work, I couldn't stop thinking. So I made up my own super beings based on this game. The caveat is I thought about it for a long time. These guys literally got the name and came up with something. You know what I mean? So I thought about it, changed some of my original ideas, and came up with some characters that I really like and would consider using it in my comics. So that's what's going on. So this is a response, and yes, I reached out to A Drink with Crazy. I invited the two gentlemen on. We just couldn't work out a time and a place because of my work schedule. Now I'm on this stupid job where I work from 3 to 10. I don't get home till 11, so I don't stream until midnight. And they apparently have a family, so they can't do that. Or noon, these guys have day jobs. So Saturday night, they're spending time with their family. So roundabout way, we couldn't work out a time. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go live. I'm going to put an open invite in. If they pop in, that's great. But there's a link in the description to this video. This is literally my first EFAP because I hate EFAPs. I hate taking other people's content and watching it. That's why I got permission first, because people clipping me, people making super chats, making fun of me because they're lazy and they got no talent. So I didn't want to be accused of the same thing. But so I went and got permission. Let's see. Oh, the release of both forms of the comics. Okay, so I did it right. I literally waited until I put, I put a bunch of Gemini mailers in the box, the slot at the post office. Then I went home and I sent out all the digital files because I don't know, because I could potentially have the digital files done by next week, but it won't be printed for a couple of weeks after that. That was a loud drawer. Yes, it is. When is my schedule going back to normal? They say 6 weeks, but did you see the Money Pit? They kept saying 2 weeks, 2 weeks. Who knows? 6 weeks. It's a lot more money, so I can't complain. But I feel like I have no life. But I like these foremen. I like the guys that I'm working with. It's very relaxed. And here's a bizarre thing. I don't know how many people work on construction sites, but you all understand they're noisy. Oh my God, they're noisy. 22 years of my ears being barraged by jackhammers and pile drivers and guys cutting tin. Guys cutting tin is the loudest, sharpest, most painful sound. It literally hurts, you know. Oh my God. But only electricians are working this shift. So it's pretty quiet. Once in a while, you'll hear a hammer drill. But I went to lunch yesterday, which is really dinner. And I sat down at the table that we're by the airplane terminal. So they all went inside to get food. But my wife packed the lunch. And I just sat there and I got drowsy and I closed my eyes and I fell asleep. And I slept an extra 20 minutes. The foreman actually let me sleep. He was like, "Oh, you're tired, John." I was like, "Am I in trouble?" He's like, "No." But that's how quiet it is. Usually, if I fall asleep at lunchtime, 12:30, when lunch is over, boom, the noise starts again instantly. You know, you can't, but it's quiet. So I'm like, I'm kind of enjoying. We put on some music. There's nobody there. Me and 6 other guys. You know, it's actually, as far as job construction sites go, it's rather pleasant. So I filibustered enough. Hey, Garfield's Bizarre Adventure. Yes, Zacktown quiet is nice at work, especially after 22 years of just creatingly loud noise. It is refreshing. So I'm gonna start this video, and I'm gonna just jump to the names. You know what I mean? Like, this is like a 2-hour video. We're not gonna watch a 2-hour video. First off, I object to just stealing somebody's content. That's why I asked for permission. So I'm just gonna go to the name, and then I'll, if I was smart, I would have went through this and actually time-stamped it, but I never claimed to be smart. So let's just see if this actually works. I never even tested this.
That's all.
Okay.
And 2, because I think we came up with the absolute dumbest thing that you guys.
Okay, here's the commercial. Them.
Because I was like,
a little silly, but ultimately serious.
okay.
Is my immediate thought.
But again, it can be a superhero name, it can be an origin story, or it can be a power. It cannot be 2. It has to be 1. Okay. And you guys are going to do it. Okay. So Wrangler is going to start us off with Sonokinesis, the manipulation of sound waves.
Okay, the manipulation of sound waves. So you have sonokinesis. You could sona meaning sound, kinesis is moves. It's the manipulation of sound waves. So the guy I came up with was pretty much exactly the same as they did. I think they say reverb. So I was thinking of that. He's a sound engineer. I would picture him as a guy using devices. And what does he do? He uses sound waves to create vibration patterns, shatter things down. Not quite like Banshee, although Banshee would be a good one, like a sonic scream. But so the very first thing that came to my mind was a guy with sonic devices. I kind of picture those long boom mics, it almost looks like a rifle, and he has headphones on, things like that. So what did they?
I like it.
All right. Daniel, are you going serious or funny for this one? What do you think?
I think it's going to be a little silly, but ultimately serious.
Okay.
My immediate thought on that one is, the manipulation of sound waves. Then I'm going to go with a guy who uses like dubstep or really, really trash techno.
Okay. You know what? I'm not going to, you guys could watch this video to see what they said. Okay. That way I could send you over to them and watch them. And that way we're not just watching somebody else's stream. I feel really, really guilty watching someone else's stream on my stream. So I'm just going to try to find where they actually mention the powers. I'll talk about what I do. Arkham, since you're here, if you have an idea, shout out too. But ultimately I want you to go and watch their video and see what you think.
Right.
You could, I used one in my Legacy Heroes book, Crescendo.
Of the time, and the funny part is he has fucking tinnitus.
Okay.
Impact. Fuck.
There
Wrangler
you
got
go.
it. That's really
Impact.
good. Chat. No, I have it on top chat, not live chat.
Okay.
And he protects the hose. That's what he
Okay,
the town.
Okay.
And he protects the hose. Back, what up?
okay. Here's one.
Trying to see. I don't. Ooh, wait. Did I set the chat? No, I have it on top chat, not live chat. Go to live chat. There we go. All right. A dude with super strength he can only use if he's horny.
Okay, dude with super strength that he could only use if he's horny. Now that one was. They all made a joke out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and immediately, I fell in love with the concept that I came up with. Symbiote weakness, yeah, for the sonic. Interesting power being all reality is waves. Too bad Soundwave is already taken. Yeah, I was thinking reverb or Soundwave. I originally thought Susurrus, but that's too highfalutin, too pretentious. But anyway, a dude. So I didn't realize that they said dude. In my memory that word was erased. So for me it was a female. But what I'm thinking of, okay, I could instantly switch it to. But the character's name is Red Light. Okay, and he's Dutch. He works in the red light district, and what he is, I guess since he's a man now, and the red light, like he's a pimp, but he's like he watches out for the prostitutes in Amsterdam, and if you ever saw, not that I know, I've never been there, but I've seen the movies and videos where you walk down the street and these women have a red like booths with the light, and then they pull the curtain when they have a customer. But inside each one of these booths, either known or unknown to them, there's a magic circle. And if you read anything about Aleister Crowley, the act of making love produces orgone, which is a mystical energy. So Red Light is a magician, and he went around and he put all these magical circles in all of these booths. So all of these people, when they're doing their business, they're releasing orgone that he then gets channeled to him, and it gives him super strength and endurance, and he is literally the protector of these women, you know. And because it's orgone energy, he's horny. So what do you think of that character? What do you think
I
of
like
that?
it. It's different. I like that you thought outside the box. You know, you can even call him like the bouncer. You know what I mean?
No, red light, you know. So
Yeah.
but
right.
originally it was a woman who was a prostitute. I didn't realize it was a dude until I heard it for this time. I must have heard it and forgot about it. But so there you go, Red Light. I actually like it. And if I this is one of the characters that I was like, I could put this in my comic, but it would definitely be a woman, like an older prostitute who stumbles upon magic, tired of seeing like women getting abused and things like that. And he fights a Jack the Ripper wannabe. There you go. See, we're coming up with a good story. So, you know, again, these guys, they just literally got handed it to them and come up on the spot. So I don't want we're not comparing. I'm just saying I really, really enjoyed this. And this was fun to me. Thank you, Creative Walshman, for
It's great. It's great brain exercise.
Yeah. So like I said,
If it's male,
you could watch them to see what they say.
tell me I'm
It's bad enough that we're getting commercials, and now we're going to get their commercials. I'm just turning the sound off. No need for everybody to see their commercials.
So good. If his power was like, yeah, okay.
I don't know. I think the voyeur would be somebody with like X-ray vision or like
Okay, we skip.
yeah. He asks everybody, he goes to save to
We're
talk
still talking
dirty
about
to
the guy
him.
who only has superpower 2020.
Oh my god.
You know, of course, they made a funny one. I said, if I was smart, I would have watched this. And
Oh, no.
Unless he's like a sub, and then it would just be like, say mean things to me.
I enjoyed this.
Tell me I'm awful. Tell me I'm awful quick.
Oh no. Oh no.
There was a villain.
Was
with
oh
that
my god.
power.
His name Darky Dark goes, oh no. Okay. All right,
Kool-Aid Man.
next.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This one I
Oh
really-
god. Oh shit! How did I miss call him the voyeur? Fuck.
Did we skip the voyeur?
Oh, the voyeur would be so good if his power was like, yeah, okay.
I don't know. I think the voyeur would be
John.
Oh no.
unless he's
I mean, unless you're like the NFL guys who are just like popping by out, but then that's a different. Hero Darky Dark, you broke the rules. You broke.
Okay. The next one they said I can't find it, but the next Arkham, did you call my name? Did I hear you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
did-
going to tell you there's a villain that literally has that power. It's a Japanese film. It's called Ichi the Killer.
Hmm.
And he has to be humiliated and brought down a peg. So it affects his subconscious, his post-traumatic stress takes over and just turns him into a psycho killer.
Hmm.
But if he's not beaten up or anything, he's just a normal dude. But once you start beating him up, oh yeah, it's over for you. Yeah, it's one of those Japanese shock films.
Oh, I've never heard of it. But now they say a woman, or they just said a person. I turned it to a woman who, when she closes her eyes, she sees through other people's eyes, but she can't control the person that she sees. And then they were just laughing about how she would be bored all the time because most people live boring lives. There's 1 billion people on the planet. You see in somebody else's life, and then they come up with the name the voyeur, which is a great name, for somebody like that. And I was thinking about this. So like all they said was the power to see through other people's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, okay, what is she? She's a woman, but what does she see? When she closes her eyes, she sees a person. She sees through the eyes of somebody being murdered. So it's a horror character. This poor woman, just for whatever reason, she got a book, she got hit in the head, whatever. She picked up a magic coin, whatever. When she closes her eyes, if there's a murder happening in whatever her state, her whatever, not worldwide because she would never, but she sees through the eyes of she's the witness. That is her name. And sooner or later, she starts working for the FBI. This is just like an NBC crime movie starring like Delta Burke or something like that. But that's what I would come up with this. It would be, just imagine the horror. This woman, she's afraid to go to sleep. You know what I mean? She's taking stimulants to stay awake. But now the police are like, no, you got to go to sleep. We can't let people get killed. You know what I mean? So like, this poor woman is I see it as like a horror character, a tragic character.
Broke the rules.
Right. We'll go to the next.
His name is Beta Boy.
there you go.
They're joking that they see somebody sleeping with his wife. You know what I mean? It's pretty funny.
Power is nope. Only the origin story. So a name. Okay. Wait.
We
Liu.
missed one.
What I did where?
What was his name? Xavier Guzman. It's kind of a troll one, but
Oh, I'm good with it. Your power is you can fly, but can only do it while yelling racist slurs. You stole that from the Unsubscribed podcast. That's Donut Operator's power.
Okay,
That's
we've got the next.
I think it's more power because it's not an origin story.
Yeah. No.
I think it's more power because it's not an,
We've got to come
especially if
so
they're
wait.
like the screaming goats from Shame.
Shame. You
Okay.
stole that one.
Okay, this one
All right, where are we?
I really like.
Leo, a redneck finds out he can summon magic goats. Oh, fuck you.
Okay, so he could summon magic goats, and then one guy calls him the herd. I forget what the other guy calls him, but so this guy could summon these goats, but the way I would he was a farmer, or he was a shepherd, working with goats, and then he started hearing the goats. The goats could he started to understand them, and what does he do? He looks. Of course, this is in Greece. And he finds Syrinx, the wooden flute, and he plays it. And he finds out that he is a descendant of Pan. Pan, the horny satyr. And as he's playing it, he starts to develop goat-like features. He can understand the goats. He could call the goats from whatever. But a tragedy in Greece literally translates to goat song. So his name would be Tragedy. And goats, so he is just this like harbinger of tragedy and horror. Like he wherever he comes, he doesn't mean to be, but like he brings bad luck, he brings misfortune, you know, and the goats, you know, that's the character that I was thinking of. Like not as funny or silly as them. These are all turned into like horror villains. But there you go, Tragedy, the goat boy.
It works.
Kind of the
Yeah.
power too. What are we going with origin story or are we
It
going with
doesn't-
power on that?
I think it's more power because it's not an origin.
Kind of the power too. Kind of the power too.
Yeah, they're goats. I assume
We're gonna call him the shepherd.
The shepherd.
It is amazing. I used to have a college
These commercials are killing me.
To mess you the fuck up. So that could also be part of the power. Okay, so his name is the shepherd.
have to be a magical origin of some kind. I wouldn't go with a rock. I would go with like a.
Come on, Mr. Writer Man, Mr. Editor.
Imagine
They actually mess you the fuck up. So that could also be part of the power. Okay, so his name is the shepherd.
herd. So imagine fighting an enemy and you're just a stampede of freaking goats.
Especially if they're all rams, dude. That
Detail to it. I'm
Mm.
thinking a rather elaborate background. It's stipulated magic goats.
or a backstory. But if you're gonna give us a power with a down, it was like honed and it was like shaped. But he can throw that sumbitch. Okay.
Ancient.
His ancient
Okay, so the next one is an origin. So from drinking an ancient vial of mead or glass of mead, he has the power to use an ancient weapon. He said a rock. You know, and all I could think of is mead is the drink of Vikings. So of course it's got to be a battle axe. You know what I mean? And then this guy just becomes either like Magni or the Berserker. And I think that's what Daniel says, the guy with the beard. So I'm with Daniel on this one, except not a rock. He literally drinks the mead and he summons this, because it says an ancient weapon. So he drinks the mead, he hallucinates, he finds this axe, and he becomes the Berserker. This one's not my favorite.
weapon is a rock. World, dude, that'd be baller.
Of it being ancient weapon.
Trying to catch.
I'm sticking with the Berserker.
I'll go with that one because okay. Fluffy526 says can see through the eyes of others when she closes her own,
I
but
skipped
she
that.
can't turn it off or control who she's looking through. Oh fuck!
Yeah, so this was the witness. So I jumped ahead.
What was that? Fuck! I've got a bunch of stuff through my head right now. Okay, so name. All right, I'm gonna have fun with the name because I think it's fine. So
for it.
name, we're gonna call her Looky Lou because she was staring at so. That would suck so fucking bad.
Disorienting, but that's most likely what's going to happen.
Right. Evelyn moves a superpower dude, but every time he goes all out, his IQ drops by 1 point. So he drinks before every fight to train his mind for that inevitable day.
So a guy, every time he goes all out, so in order to summon more power, he gets stupider. So I just can't help but think of like a Hercules or a Hulk type character. So the character that I was thinking of was the Rage. So he's a guy who's already strong. He gets into a fight. He realizes he needs more strength. He gets stupider. Now, does he get stupider forever or does he get stupider just for a couple of hours? They didn't particularly say. But I would think like he loses an IQ point. And of course, I'm thinking of role playing. So like to lose 1 IQ point for my role playing game, he would have to double his ability to, what he can carry. So if he could lift 2 tons, he drops 1 IQ point. He can now do 4 tons, forever, until, so he just gets like, the funny thing is originally, you know what my name was for this guy, Arkham?
Huh.
Retard strength. The retard.
It's a real thing. People don't, if they've never dealt with somebody with Down syndrome, they do not understand how much strength they're applying when they do things.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I was, but you don't want to use that, but that's what I was thinking, like the rage, and he just gets, 1 point. This is not one of my favorite ones. So far, my favorite one is red light. So
I'm going to call him
I'm going to jump to the
doesn't.
next one.
That could be. Yeah, I like that.
He has
What's his
retard
name?
strength to even say
Control them like that.
When you save with teachers, you
the commercial. Jeez, Arkham, you could talk while I'm fishing around.
No problem. Yeah, I was thinking about for the girl that can see through other eyes. I think a cool name for that would be like surveillance.
Yeah, that would be as she could control it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh, you're working for the CIA. Yeah, there's a grandmother making dumplings in Taiwan. You know what I mean? Then she closes it. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, like the only way to make it a character that's interesting to write about would be like it's limited in its use. Otherwise, this is just like an interesting one-shot story that, of just how bad her life sucks. You know what I mean? Or maybe she turns it to a carnival act or something. But like, so like the witness to me, I was just like, yeah, she sees, so sees what it's like to be strangled. She sees what it's like to bleed out. Like, can you imagine if she saw like that poor Irani on the train who got stabbed? You know what I mean? Like she witnessed that,
Yeah.
And of course, people don't believe her until she starts describing stuff. Then there's like an FBI agent who's like, "This is too close. We already solved this case," and she's describing stuff that only the witness would know. So that to me makes, I think, a fun, interesting story. So let's go on to the next one.
Name a superhero power or a superhero origin story. You cannot give us two. Some people are giving us a power and a funny downside. We will also allow that because some of them are just funny. But you give us one of those, and then we have to figure out how creative we are. We're either going to make it funny or we're going to make it serious. God of Plague says chronokinetic ability to either revert objects to the past state or fast forward objects to a future state. Can work on organic or non-organic objects.
Okay, did you get that one?
I liked it.
Yeah, this one. So I'll give it to you in a nutshell. This is an interesting one. These guys really did a good job explaining this one. And again, I encourage you to go to A Drink with Crazy. The link is in the description and watch their video. I said this at the beginning of the video. I don't want to steal other people's content, and I want to encourage going and watching them. This was funny. I was laughing, and it really made driving on the Long Island Expressway pleasant. So I thank them for that. So this power is the ability to either accelerate time in an object or a person or reverse time in an object or a person. Now, they go on for a long time talking about this one. This is a really cool, original, interesting power. And I got caught up thinking about this one for a long time at work. So this is super powerful. So what? I like the way Drink, I don't even know his real name, but Drink with Crazy and Daniel, they started immediately putting limitations on the power because they realized how overpowered it was. So, okay, so he has the power. What would his name? So the first name that I thought of was like Chrono Master and all of these things, Chronos, but they just seemed a little bit too clumsy. So Time Stream is the name that I came up with. So time, and it's a stream. It could go, this way or that way.
Mm-hmm.
So like them, I came up with the limitation is it has to be one object. They say it had to be touch, but I don't think it needs to be touch. However, I can't help but think, like a role-playing game, it costs a lot of energy to use this power. So it's exhausting. Otherwise, this guy is unbeatable. If it's just a whim that he could just wave his hands and a baby ages to death, or an old man turns, this guy's a god. But in order to make it a viable superhero or supervillain, it needs to be strenuous, that he can't continually do it. You know what I mean? Like Scarlet Witch or the Invisible Woman puts up the force field and she's stopping the Hulk for a while, but you can see her sweating until it collapses. So that's what I would. So if he was to just focus on a rock, he's exerting all of this energy to de-age the rock, and really nothing happens. But if he does it to a person, he could heal them. He could age them. You know what I mean? He could cause like a wooden door to rot. So, but it would cost more energy depending upon how dense, how much matter he's trying to affect. Like to affect a giant would cost more energy than to affect an ant. It's just more matter. You know what I mean? And then like a human being would be ravaged by rapid accelerated aging more so than a tree, more so than a rock. You know what I mean? So that's the way I would limit it. And his name would be Time Stream. So there you go. There's that one. But they're going to talk for a long time about this one.
Oh,
That's
shit.
pretty devastating.
Take this one very
That's
seriously.
fucking the Timekeeper.
The Timekeeper.
That is an insane fucking power. I've never
Yep, it is
Like-
good power.
Dairy-free cashews.
And to me, it would be like in role-playing terms, it would be a non-player character. It would be like, somebody that the heroes face off with, because a player with that power would just be too powerful.
forward,
Especially,
like,
players
fucking
would abuse
2x.
it.
What's that?
Players would abuse it immediately.
Oh yeah. That's why it would have to be strenuous and cost
Fuck,
a lot
that's
of
a good
energy.
power.
I mean, if it's, you could make a case for, say, it's sustained on an
But she could only
the
rewind.
girl with the horn who healed
yeah.
period of time, like it would who healed.
Yeah,
it.
talk about this for a long time.
I'm
I
calling him Chronovert. It would have to be something physics, so I'm assuming science or technology. Chronovert.
It gains powers by drinking different beverages. Oh, the powers are based off of the perception. Oh, fuck. People have about each beverage and its consumers. Thank you for the prayers decision on Friday.
Okay, so did you hear that one?
Yeah.
So a guy gets different powers based on what he's drinking, and it's not a one-to-one correspondence. It's based on like the zeitgeist. You know what I mean? So if you drink a Coca-Cola, the caffeine, or you drink a coffee, you would get super speed. You drink a beer, I would think you would get deer muscles and maybe a little horny and not too particular about who.
You drink too much, you get retard strength.
But like you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, but also like they even said, like, if you drink like Coors, you'd get super strength, because he says all the construction workers by him and drinking Coors. Like if you drink Bud Light, do you become transgender? You know what I mean? Things like that. So
You drink Coors, you can automatically ride a bull.
yeah, right. Things like that. You drink Dos Equis, you whatever Mexican. You know what I mean? Things like that. You drink vodka. What are you, like a Russian general, or a wine? So this one's not my favorite. This is probably my least favorite of the group. But the name I came up with is just Chug, and he would be like some like frat guy that drank a potion in a chemistry lab that he shouldn't have drank. And now he's basically immune to any liquid. So if he drank like battery acid, he would develop like the ability to burn other people with a touch, things like that. So there you go. This one's my least favorite out of this entire video.
Waiting to hear the super
And
Fuck,
again,
we're
you
going with
watch their video to see what they say.
maybe villain fella. That's
Right.
not bad too.
Oh,
Okay.
mine's kind of similar, but it has a drawback.
Okay, so the next one, somebody just submitted the name Brain Fart, and you got to come up with the power. So of course, the name Brain Fart, everybody. Oh, Funnel's a good name for that. That's a good name. Funnel, good one. So Brain Fart, I think all three of us. It's funny, including myself, when these guys don't even know who I am. Well, Daniel's been on my channel before, but Brain Fart, it's a guy with telepathic ability. And what does he do? He could cause you to forget something, cause you to trip up, like mess up your mental timing. So like you fumble or maybe hesitate. So like, think about in Dungeons and Dragons term, like the orc is about to notch an arrow, and then you hit him with this thing, and he like lets the arrow drops down. It gives the fighter next to him a chance to attack him unfettered, things like that. Oh, connoisseur would be a good one. A more refined alcohol-based. That is really good, Zach-Tan. Good job. Oh, good. Yeah. There you go. That the connoisseur. Yeah. If he was the connoisseur, I would expand it to food too. So we'll skip to the next one.
Some serious shenanigans.
Yeah.
So this one is You could change the direction of gravity when you clap. Downside, it's like a Rubik's Cube, and each section around you is different, and you can't control which area. So you clap your hands, and how many squares are in a Rubik's Cube? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 36. 36 times 30. So whatever. This 36 times 36, 6 cubed sections of gravity all going in different areas. So what I would do, this character would be called my first name was Quake, but then a Quake is more earth based, but then I was thinking Gravity Storm, and then I was thinking like G Storm, and then just like G-Man, but I think Gravity Storm. So he just boom, and gravity just goes haywire, except for him. He's the only one who doesn't move. So, you know what I mean? Boom, and then like walls collapse, things change, windows shatter, people go flying around, and if he could keep it going continuously. Like they say he claps, but I just don't like clapping, but whatever. I got to stick by their rules. So he could keep it going, boom, boom, and just mess with everybody. All the superheroes go flying into each other. Everybody's discombobulated. People drop down. I think that would be just a devastating power. You shoot down a bullets are moving through all of these different gravity wells. I think I got the clap. Niobe says, I just think this is a really clever use of power. But again, this is like too specific. Like if you were a player character, and I keep thinking in terms of my role-playing game, if you were a player character, I think this would work better as a villain, non-player character.
There's a character in a anime called Jujutsu Kaisen, and he has the power when he claps his hand, he trades places with his whoever he chooses to.
Oh, that is interesting.
So he can even trade places between two other people. But it's only 2 at a time. All right.
So like me and you swap.
Right. So say if the villain's coming at your partner, right? And you can see where his arms extended, his other arms back, keep the balance. You can clap with him and counterpunch the guy attacking. Right. You can say you want your friend to charge your attack. Right. He's charging his attack. You can punch. And as soon as you clap, the guy can teleport in and shoot his attack out. And he does this dance when they're in combat while him and a partner fight an opponent on how to manipulate. Like even the person's attacks that he uses against them, he can teleport the opponent in front of his own attacks. Like he's aiming at him, he can trade places with his opponent. So the opponent's attack now hits him.
Oh, so it's not like you swap body; you physically change places.
Physically change places. It has to be with the
so he could throw a rock and then swap
with the rock. Yep.
Or throw a rock up in the air at himself and then swap places and have the rock land on his head.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's.
It's quite genius the way the writer, I forgot the writer's name, the way he.
Or he could jump in front of a train and then swap with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite, his name was Tojo, and he was an excellent character, amazing character.
Okay. This next character, it took me a long time, but I fell in love with it.
And a 60-degree motion with each individual cube.
Okay.
He was cast away. He was, and I know Tim Allen just posted it again, but I'm just catching up here, guys, because I'm like way back in the chat. Tim Allen, hero name, the Holy Moly.
Okay, the Holy Moly. Do you want to speculate, or anybody in the chat speculate before I talk about this one? I really, really like this one. First off, I'm going to make you you are. Oh no, he's asking if that's a beholder. This is actually the amulet that the female character wears around her neck.
It's kind of like this isn't like a final drawing. This is just my shits and giggles, kind of get to know the characters and maybe situations. Like right now, she's kind of like letting it loose out. As you can see that it's breaking the chains around her neck.
Cool.
Whether we do this in the future or whatever, who knows?
I get ideas from the art that you draw too. So, you never know. Now that I'm seeing that, I could see that happening.
Yeah, I just thought it was a cool picture. It's an old Christmas ad that
And-
I saw.
And also, don't throw away any sketches. We'll put. I have a folder for sketches for each comic. For you know what I mean. And then someday I want to put an art of Heroic Tales, and we'll put all the
For
sketches.
sure.
Yeah.
And like this is just like you've seen. Here's one image that I'm doing. Without laying that ink I just did. Here's another like really, really. Oh no, there we go. Stupid camera. Like there's a very rough image of another one I'm doing. You know, she's just in a different position, right? And then here's another super rough one where I'm doing. She's just sitting down there a little bit more comfortable.
Okay.
I'm going to have them like look eye to eye at each other. You know, just testing the character out, getting feels for her, and you know what I mean.
Cool. So for those of you who joined in, Arkham is drawing one of my stories. The gist is they find a trove of all these Greek mythological artifacts. The husband finds the tooth. They find the tooth in the eye of the Grey Sister. The husband uses the tooth for a spear point. She uses the eye as a divination, and they become a superhero team. That's all I'm really going to tell. But anyway, let's get back to the Holy Moly. Some sort of nun or monk person that could grow larger like Giganta. Okay, I like that. But what I was going to do is, first off, I was thinking like, holy moly. And the first thing I do is I deconstruct the words. Well, moly is a bastardization of Molly. And Molly, if you read Greek mythology, Odysseus went and ate Molly to make himself immune to Circe's magic. Molly is a magic-resistant plant. Captain Marvel, Shazam, he says holy moly. And the flower symbols that are tied on his cape are moly leaves, you know, tying it to Greek mythology. So holy moly. So this is, you know, an expression that we use. You're basically invoking a protection against magic. So that's what I'm thinking. So now holy moly to me is a girl, Molly, who is such a good person. She's so good for. She's contemplating going into the convent. She's contemplating. She's a good girl in every term that you could think of. But she's so good that nothing bad ever happens to her. So I was thinking that she's like a good, naive, original 1940s Johnny Thunders type character, like almost like she's just walking around and like solves crimes by accident.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of thinking like she would be like a foil for Red Light. You know, like, you know, finds herself in like the red light district and guys are trying to talk her into becoming a prostitute. And she's just like, no, like, and because of her innate goodness, like she just causes like the bad thing, like literally like demons flee before her and stuff like that. Like she oh, look at this. And she'll find like the key to the storage locker that happens to have all the clues and things like that. So that's what I think. And she's like, holy moly, I can't believe it. And every time she does it, she's like invoking these protections. I kind of like Goofy, but I kind of like this character, you know? So, you know, that's what I got. Holy moly.
Goofy characters are quite, you got to think, when they're beloved, they're loved. Like, look at Velma. She was the Goofy character originally.
I know. Now she's like a sex symbol. I can't believe it.
Yeah, but I mean, some people go too far with that. Just way too far.
But like I stressed that she's like she would be like if remember the Super Friends, they had Super Marvin, the sidekick, or to the early Justice League, you had Snapper Carr. Holy moly. Yeah, Molly, she would be like the sidekick to a super team or the mascot to a super team. Like they hire her to do the paperwork, you know, and then she'd be like, holy moly, and like demons flee before her. You know what I mean? She's just saving up money to send back to her poor sick mom. Like everything about this girl is pure and good to the point like almost like Baldur, nothing will ever hurt her kind of thing. You know, that's what I would do with this character. I really do like this character. Red Light and Holy Moly are my two favorite. Again, I put way much more thought.
And so
these guys did, you know. Because,
all he does is he shows up, and when it's time to fight, he says, "Holy moly!" And then all the prairie dogs show up.
Yeah,
moles. Travel.
He summons moles. I spoiled it.
Righteous. Ooh, you can choose to divert all of the calories you consume into a power boost for strength.
Okay, did you hear that?
Yep. I think there's quite a few characters that are like that out there right
Well,
now.
the first one is Matter Eater Lad.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, in the Legion of Superheroes, there's Matter Eater Lad. He's my spirit animal. He eats food, he eats anything and converts it to power. Like he could convert it to strength, or he could convert it to invulnerability, or he could just convert it to like a flash of explosive energy, So if he eats iron, he gets that much stronger than, say, if he was to eat cotton, and he could literally eat anything. And his symbol is a tooth. I always had a soft spot for Matter Eater Lad. Matter of fact, if anybody knows the Outhousers or Newsarama old forums from around 2005, it was like, I think it was the Bleeding Cool, Bleeding News, or whatever. They had their own forums. I was Food Eater Lad. That was my name. And I was the lone conservative, so I was the evil. At one point, I had a Wikipedia page, people talking about what an asshole I was. So Comicsgate going after me is nothing new. It's been happening since 2005. I don't care. But anyway, so this is what I would do. So he gets power. You could choose to divert all your calories you consume into a power boost for strength. Oh, Hero Darkly Dark. Poking in for a second. We're having a lot of fun, and I see your name in the chat to the video that we're watching, Hero Darkly Dark. So if you I put a link in the description to this video, so David, and I don't know what a Drink with Crazy's name is, if they want to poke in, but Hero Darkly Dark, I see your name in their chat. And Hero Darkly Dark has also been on my channel. So anyway, this is the character that I thought of. His name would be the Carnivore. And his limitation is he can only eat meat. And you know where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a cannibal, and like part of me thinks he's like a bull, or like a horned bull, like a Moloch type creature, just this demonic force. Like this is a horror villain, and he literally grabs babies, people, just eats them and gets bigger and more muscular and more powerful the more he devours. Kind of like a primordial force. Like you don't reason with the Carnivore. He's just evil, and he just eats and consumes, and that's it. He gets bigger and more powerful. This is just like the kind of villain that all the superheroes need to get together and take out. Like he gets summoned or brought or whatever. The devil brings him, and he's in like someplace like Nigeria where there's just high density, no superheroes, and he just gets to a point where he's a world threat by the time the superheroes, or India. Just imagine if he's just in India, just how densely packed, Mumbai or someplace like that. So that's what I would do with this character. And again, watch their video to see what they.
Ooh. I mean,
I like where they.
all right, we're
Made a
possibly that one power.
Actual.
Huh?
say like
Full plate. And
how
Okay, so now they're saying the power of smell empathy.
Smempathy.
Smell empathy. So, and that's all it says. And I like that. I'm going to call him Drink. Drink describes it one way, and then Daniel describes it another way. And they come up, but the name that they come up with is Bloodhound, which is a really good name. He like he concentrates. He goes to an area of a crime and he smells everything, and he this is their concept. So you should watch. But what I was thinking of is literally a guy who could, like Daredevil, he could talk to you and he could smell, and through his smell he could sense your feelings. Like, okay, this guy's scared, like, because it's smell empathy. You know what I mean? Like he could smell, and empathy is feeling, so he could smell what you're feeling. That's the way I think of it. So literally, he's like a detective or like a Batman kind of guy or a Daredevil kind of guy. And as like he'll go in and just start questioning everybody, and he's like, okay, that guy's lying, that guy's afraid. This guy is completely innocent. So to me, that wouldn't be the main power. Like, Daredevil's main power isn't is but what name? But the Bloodhound is a perfectly good name. So I gotta agree with Daniel here. So that's
exactly does that work?
Yeah, we need
so
will
again,
still whoop my ass. So
they go off on
look
a
at
little bit about
maps
their
and he
fathers
can-
with
in
tools.
his room.
I'm just gonna
You don't know.
just with us going there though.
Depends on
Okay, so now the Ultimate Kahuna gives him a superhero name, the Big Load, and then of course I don't want to
Jokes
play.
commence.
Yeah, I don't want to play what they describe. You could watch that on your own. But me being a construction worker, the first thing I thought of was like a wide loader, like a dump truck. So like he would be like Big Load. He's a juggernaut type of guy. I picture the construction hat with a light on the front. We strap these lights on our hat, and like he's got the big work gloves, like almost like an iron apron, but instead of stitches, it's like rivets. And he's like 12 feet tall, and he's just this unstoppable force of destruction. That's Big Load.
how big we
works.
keep our language.
Again, I don't want to play with
It's funny.
what they describe because I
Four.
want you to watch them. Okay. A pipe smoker who takes on the personality of the pipe, but if it used as a historical pipe, his personality is taking over by whoever owned the pipe before. So, and
That's a Hydra Man if I've ever seen one.
a what, man?
A Hydra Man. It's basically somebody whose power is absolutely useless until it's needed for a very specific thing.
So they actually go around with a couple of silly ones and then come up with a serious one. But this is what I thought. So a pipe smoker who takes on the personality of the pipe, but if it's used for historical pipe, so I was just like, wide load is a good one. Yeah, but they gave the name Big Loads, right? According to the rules, I got to use what they give me. But I was thinking basically like a hippie guy, like a shaman. He smokes the pipe and he learns, like he gets visions, he gets information. So I was thinking like literally like the shaman or the wise man or something like that. Call him peace pipe or shaman or wise
Peace
man,
pipe, like
or medicine man or something like that. That's what I was thinking. Like this is like my third least favorite out of this.
The
Actually negates the ability to use it effectively in, say, a dire circumstance.
Okay, the ability to see other timelines and pull things or events from them. The more timelines you see, the more time passes around you, though. So this is
a monkey's paw power almost.
Well, so I would, this guy would be, he could, like a forecaster, like a probability or a calculator, and I had a name and it's darned if it's escaping me now, but this guy, like almost like that Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr.
Mhm.
Like, all of a sudden you see the angles, everything, he's figuring everything out. So I was thinking of this guy. I would make it a girl, and it's basically Mary Sue, my character, but I would call it the butterfly, as in the butterfly effect. So this person would he's looking through all the possibilities, all the angles, and blah, 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 and he puts a pencil right here on the floor and walks away, and all the other superheroes are like, what'd you do that for? He's like, you'll see. And then, somebody comes by, slips on the pencil, falls down, drops a tray of glasses, which spills water over here, which starts an electrical fire, which causes an explosion that takes out the bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's because he's looking at everything. So that's my character, which is almost Mary Sue. She's one of her.
Unless you get
The big load is-
exactly.
okay, the beard. So they came up with two really funny, really clever names for the beard. But I was thinking, like, have you ever heard? Have you ever called anybody a beard, or anybody call you a beard? Do you know what they mean when they say, "Oh, that guy's a beard"?
No, I've never had that.
Okay, like it's the first time I ever heard a beard is like in the '60s when an obviously gay actor had a hot girlfriend with him, and like that girl's the beard. What is she? She's the disguise. She's the so they. I don't want to again. I watch their video to see what they say, but for me, the beard would be the ultimate disguise artist. He's a spy. Like he is the beard. He's the distraction. He's just the beard. He's not there. He has a fake beard. He has, you know what I mean? Like almost like the chameleon from Spider-Man. He could either shape change or literally put on different costumes, and you never know who he is. He's the ultimate infiltrator. That's the beard for me.
Fucking dude, I'll call him Blackbeard. I like it.
Here's
This one's too silly. He gains power.
That's not bad, actually. I mean,
every single court.
that would be like a joke.
Yeah,
hero.
this one I don't even like.
oh god.
So he farmed.
Fujishi, weeb girl, too obsessed with.
Okay, this one I actually like.
it. Fujishi, weeb girl.
Okay, so they give a backstory for this character. I don't know this Japanese term. I learned. I don't know any of this weeb stuff. But a weeb girl too obsessed with gay anime smut was chasing down her favorite K-pop singer when she fell into a sewer hole with all of her merchandise absorbing its cringe. So that's her backstory. Fujishi. So she's a girl obsessed with K-pop.
Yeah, that wouldn't really be a weeb. That's more of a Japanese text.
Right. Again, I don't know these terms.
Yeah, but there is a huge K-pop following by women, and I mean, rightfully so. Look what they have here in the States to look forward to listening to and idolize. There's not a lot, so can't blame them much on that one.
So I don't know K-pop except for this band that all of a sudden came out of nowhere. But I watch this Japanese comedian, and he I just like him because I don't know because he's funny, and he was talking about like how the Japanese and K-pop they're constantly obsessed with their popularity, constantly like the record companies or whatever. Like, oh, you dropped down 2 points. This guy. So I was thinking of this. Whatever, Fujishi, whatever, how you pronounce this word, but it's a girl. She becomes obsessed with this K-pop, but she's like an influencer. She's on Instagram, she's on Twitter, she's making TikToks or whatever, and she's a superhero. But the more popular, the more fans she gets, the more likes she gets, the more subscribers she gets, the more powerful she gets. So not only is she fighting crime, but she's doing it in a sexy outfit, and she's posing, and she's making that stupid face that all these Japanese girls are making. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and like doing dances as she's fighting, and she's constantly afraid that her popularity will go down and become powerless. I don't know. That's what I got out of this one.
I mean, that's pretty much sounds like an influencer to me.
Right.
Power is sort of a
I would
singer,
call her
I
whatever.
assume.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, fucking excuse me. A magical.
Okay, so that's all of them. That's
Dude,
all of them.
I
All right, so
created Chronovert out of just
I'm going to remove that. So, guys, okay, so I don't know what happened. I hit the wrong button. So that's my response, or me playing along with them, even though I wasn't invited to their name game. And I think it's a fun game. So we got a bunch of people watching. If anybody wants to continue this, now you can see me sputter and look like a fool because I thought about that for 8 hours before I said anything. So if anybody has like superhero names or a superhero, a super, I it could be a villain, it could be a hero. So if anybody's got a name or a superpower, throw it in the chat now and we'll play. And if nobody's interested, we'll call it a night. We've been talking for an hour and I love that drawing.
No, let me fix the camera a little bit, and so it's not quite as cute.
World of War Comics. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing really well. I'm having a good weekend. everything is done for with my comic except for the pre-press stuff. That's going to be taken care of, and then it's just a matter of waiting on. Well, I got to get a proof, guys. Anybody making a comic book, I cannot stress how important it is to get a physical proof. Get it in your hand, flip through it. It's $40 at Comic Wellspring, so you're spending $40 for proof. So I'm going to get 4 proofs because I'm getting one for all the variant covers. And then you flip through it, make sure it looks good, make sure it reads good, make sure there's no mistakes. I didn't catch a mistake until the proof level, so do that. And then when you get a proof, you go to the bottom of the list and you get printed. So I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks, I'll be mailing out comics. So anyway, look at this picture over here. This is a character that I created. It's a husband and wife team. They're archaeologists. They found the last resting place of the Grey sisters from Perseus. They shared a tooth among them, and they shared an eye. There's nothing in Greek mythology that says that the Grey sisters were normal human size, so they're gigantic. So they had the gigantic tooth that the husband uses as a spear point, and then the eye that she uses. She weaves the optic nerves into a necklace, and she uses it for divination purposes. And they become a super team. Neither one.
We never decided what necklace or whatever, and just for this, I just for the meantime, just like a chain. Like I said, these are just sketches. These are just
right.
While we'll BSing, I'm drawing stuff out, getting the feel.
Yeah, but whatever she wears, it's gonna have nerves woven in and out of it,
And that's why I thought a chain would be best, because that's where the nerve endings can weave in. Is the big links.
Right. What does Zach then say? Maybe not Arch, but one of the normal, or maybe not an arch nemesis, but one annoying normal person in a hero's life that they can't just use their powers to solve. I don't. What are you talking about? Oh! This is the second part of her. Her arch enemy is not just power troll that wants to ruin her. Oh! You're talking about the Weeb. I can't think of another name, but the Weeb. Her arch enemy is not just a power troll that wants to ruin her reputation. Yeah, or maybe not, but a troll. That would be funny. Her arch enemy is the troll, who's just a guy, maybe with a bot farm that's just like spreading rumors about her. Kind of like Comicsgate.
Superman.
So, anybody else want to play? Anybody else want to say anything? If not, we'll
I got a character. I got 3 characters. I'm batting around in my head. And I just kind of based them off if I was to write about a comic book about somebody, right? There was a show I was watching. They were talking about 2 people. They're like, oh my God, you guys' names sound like comic book characters. So I was watching that show. I was thinking, it's like, if I was to write a comic book starring these guys, what powers would I give them and why? Right? Have you guys, I'm sure most people have seen Geeks and Gamers, right? Have you seen it, John?
Geeks and Gamers?
Yeah, it's a show where just a bunch of guys get together and they bullshit about daily culture and movies and cry and complain and argue with each other.
Yeah, who's the main guy in that?
That's Jeremy.
Yeah, I've seen it. I know it. I've never actually watched it, but yeah, I know about it.
They have there's also Gary Bielger from Nerdrotic, and he has a side project called Forbidden Frontiers, which is all about ufology, ancient architecture, ancient civilizations, and so forth. So they were talking about plasmoid technology. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Yeah, it's interdimensional energy that we're supposedly hypothetically being able to potentially tap into. So I thought about that as a character's name, Plasmoid, where he's able to use a suit to harness plasmoid energy, and it can only be siphoned through because it only exists in this plane of existence for so long. So he can use it as a power source, but he can also use it for like projectiles and so forth.
Okay.
There's a guy on there, and the reason why I said plasmoid is because in their show that was one of the discussions. So that'd be kind of cool to give them a power of, a topic. There's a guy on there. I thought his name's Quarter Black Garrett, right? I thought of a cool power for him would be, could you imagine if it was 4 people that turn into 1, right?
Okay. So like they're this Gestalt being.
Right. And each one of their individual powers that one person now has. Right. So I was
Okay,
thinking
so
of,
I'm thinking of like the, Voltron.
yes, or Cyforce or whatever, the DP7 or whatever that one
Yeah,
was
there you
called.
go. Yeah.
Something like that. But there was an accident in a fight where Garrett's the only one left, right? The other three are dead.
Ooh.
But they're all trapped in him. He has access to the powers, but he can only access one of them at a time. So each quarter that clicks is a different power set. So if it's up on top, it's telepathy and telekinesis. Power shifts to the right, it's like energy projection. To the bottom, it's speed. To the other right, it's strength. So that's why they call him quarter black, because it's that quarter that keeps changing
Oh, okay.
on his power set. Just something like that. And I thought of another cool power would be the power of absolution. What I mean by that is true invisibility to the point of you can get the power to where it can literally cease to exist as far as anybody else's conception of you, to the point where you could, if somebody saw you and you knew it, they didn't see you, right? Even though they clearly saw you, that you don't exist.
It's funny because I call that power obfuscation. And to me, it would be better than invisibility. Because
Oh yeah.
I don't know why the power of invisibility always makes me nervous, because it's like you think nobody knows you're there, but something like,
Because logically somebody knows you're there.
well, not only that, but like if there was an invisible person in this room with me, it's like they would make noise.
Mhm.
So but obfuscation to me is the ability, like you send out like psionic waves, and the target, their brain comes up with excuses why they don't. So they literally see you, but they pay no attention to you.
It's almost like the reverse effect of when you say Voldemort, how he always knows you say his name.
Right. Well,
But so when you think of that, it just disappears. It's gone. And it's almost like a virus, and every other thought of it around that is gone. You know what I mean?
because I had an NPC who's a thief, and his name is, he in my role playing game, he's the rumor,
Oh, there you go.
and he literally walks into a bank, and the security guard would be like, "Oh, excuse me," and get out of his way. And like a pen will fall down, he'll pick it up, and they just pay it no mind. Like he'll bump into people, and people are like, "Oh, pardon me," and then they instantly forget him. You know what I mean? So it's not like if you're invisible and you bump into somebody, people will be like, "What was that?"
Right.
And like he'll just walk behind the counter, and then so like walk into the bank, just take money, and people are like, "Oh, hi, how you doing? I'm just stealing." Okay. And then he just walks out, and people are like, "Yeah, I think there was a guy here today. What did he look like?" And then everybody has different descriptions of him or whatever. So I was thinking, like, he would have, like, is he shielded from technology? Like, does his power extend to technology, or even if you're looking at him on camera, like, I don't know.
I would say, like my thought of that would, technology would pick him up and so forth. But if it's verified through human eyes, right, that's where that telepathy hits.
Right.
So the camera could see him. Camera recorded him. You just can't see it because of that thing. That's why I think like robot characters would be a nemesis for him.
Oh yeah, that is pretty clever. So like an
Everything
AI,
needs a weakness, right?
an AI could like draw him and stuff like that.
Yep. Well, no, even if an AI drew him, the person would be able to see him because the perception's there. But the robot would know.
But the paper doesn't have telepathy.
Right. But when the person looks at the paper, the image is now blank because it's the image of that person. Because that virus is still stuck.
Then he would have to be magical.
Yeah, I think are just literally a
Because I don't see how the psionic would extend from the paper. Like, but magic, yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, we would have to have to the point of reality warping at that point.
Right.
That powerful, not just invisibility.
That says the one power would be cool for someone who could fly ethereal through the ground and perhaps solid out. Yeah, like the Vision, or or Doctor Strange when he releases his astral form could do that.
Yeah. Or heaven forbid you turn into Kitty Pryde and forget and have the Earth's gravitation start sucking you to the middle of the planet, and you're like, I can't unphase. I can't get out.
See, one of the things I always liked about Kitty Pryde, I don't know if they still do it because it's literally been years since I bought an X-Men comic, is that she could only phase for as long as she can hold her breath, because she's still, she needs to breathe. She can't
Yeah.
breathe while walking through a wall. Dude,
I don't know. I haven't read X-Men probably since before not Alan Moore, what's his name? He invented Cassandra for the X-Men. Xavier's sister.
Grant Morrison, right?
Grant Morrison. I stopped right about there. I was like, I like Grant Morrison's work. Don't get me wrong, but it didn't feel like the X-Men to me. It felt like it was an alternate universe X-Men book. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it would have been fine as an alternate universe X-Men book. Just it didn't feel like mainline at all.
The Doom Patrol and Animal Man made me a lifelong Grant Morrison fan.
Oh yeah, and he's great on those. Who was writing Swamp Thing on 52? Do you know?
52, Ram V.
God, that was so good too.
Yeah, that was good.
It felt like Grant Morrison and him were in lockstep on those two books as they're developing the world of the red and the the red and the green and the gray, the three existence.
Yeah, that was already established in the regular pre-52. That the red, the green, because Alan Moore came up with the green, and then and I think Grant Morrison came up with the red in Animal Man, and I think Mark Miller like tied them all to like then there was the gray, which was like the mushrooms and fungus.
Arcadia.
Yeah, and then
Such a great villain. Nobody thinks about Arcadia as a villain anymore.
and on Arcane, you mean?
Yeah, Arcane. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite villains because he's so petty.
Oh yeah, he is a villain.
Yeah.
He's a
Unabashedly evil. Yeah, I wish the Doom Patrol. I started watching the Doom Patrol series, but as much as I love the Grant Morrison stuff, it comes off to me as silly because it doesn't have all the depth that Grant Morrison put into it. Just comes off as weird, and then people say that it's just like super gay in the next couple of seasons. So I watched the first seasons of it, and my wife was like, "What's going on? This show is insane."
Yeah, I never gave it a chance. I've checked out of anything really modern comic book or anything. The only one that I'm thoroughly still enjoying that's American comic book release is Invincible.
Yeah, I gotta watch the second season.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, well, it's pretty close to the comic. Like,
Yeah, I mean it's even
And
some of the changes I enjoyed.
and I love the comic. I pretty much like anything that Robert Kirkman does. I thought the Walking Dead comic was so much better than the TV show.
Oh, by leaps and bounds. I will say though, there are some things in the TV show I did like. I like Tyrese in the TV show. It's not even close to the Tyrese in the comic books. Completely different people, completely. But I like this Tyrese in the TV show better. But I love the Governor in the comic books better because that dude was just evil as you can get.
Right.
This Governor wasn't quite there.
The Governor in the TV show was almost likable.
Yeah. You can see his perspective. The Governor in the comic books, you're like, no, that dude has to die.
Yeah.
He needs to die, and preferably slowly. He was,
And then Negan was horrible in the comics. And he was horrible, but like I call it the Skylar syndrome from Hero.
yeah.
Everybody like Skylar was a great character. The actor did a great performance, and he was so popular that they just brought him back, even though his story was over.
Yep.
They ruined him. Now he's this guy's brother, and he didn't really eat brains. And it's like, dude, you can't. This guy was a serial killer who ate other super beings, and stole their powers. That's it. Brilliant. Now, just be brave enough to let him go. That's Sometimes when they say give the audience what they want, sometimes they didn't want more Skylar. They wanted the end of a good story.
Yes.
So yeah, they should have let him go. That ruined Heroes.
Yeah, I thought Negan in the comic books had a much smoother and better written redemption than the TV show.
Yeah, the comics was written by Robert Kirkman, and the TV show was written by committee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can totally tell the committee completely took over Walking Dead in season 5.
Right. Yeah.
You
I
can
think- I think
totally see it.
probably the
Like,
last
oh wow, this is bad.
and that, you know, and that's what they did. Oh, Negan's popular. We're going to keep him. Supernatural did the same thing with Crawley.
Yeah.
There was really no reason to keep Crawley around as long as they did. And then the witch, I forget her name, the redheaded Irish witch who turned out to be Crawley's mother. Like, don't be afraid to let go of characters. Don't be afraid to let go of characters. Hey, Crenshaw's here. Crenshaw, how you doing? How's everything? Kyojo is giving us a little yellow. I don't know. Anybody? I'll throw this out one more time if anybody wants to come in and talk, because I talked about what I wanted to talk about, and I don't really like to stream for multiple hours at a time. I think people don't click on 4-hour streams, but they'll click on an hour stream. So if anybody
You'd be surprised, John. Once somebody's in, they're a lot of times they're like, all right, I'm in. And they'll just
Right.
stay here as long as you go. You know, you'd be surprised how many people just stick around and be like, yeah, we're just gonna stay in our BS.
so just for the sake of anal retentiveness, I'll keep it going to 1:30, so 9 more minutes. If somebody pops in, we'll reset the clock, you know, whatever. But I love your art.
Have you seen Ghost in the Shell, the movie? Not the live action, but the animated one.
I saw the animated movie and I didn't really like it.
Oh, I loved it. My brain loved that one, and that's what got my mind going on that superpower, the absolution. Because in that film, there's a elevator scene where the two guys are wearing cloak suits, and then they're like, something's off, and he's timing the doors. Right? It's like the door took an extra second to close. Why? Because the sensor picked something up. Then they went and measured the weight on the elevator. It was going down and figured out there was additional people in there. I'm like, that's good sci-fi. That's how you write tech. You know what I mean? You got to play with it. You have to, if you're going to use it or you're going to show it, use it, you know? And I loved that. You might not have liked it for a lot of reasons. A lot of people don't like that movie. I loved it because the fact is it was not going to have a happy ending. I was like, yeah, the cat's out of the bag. How are we going to deal with this now situation?
I'm willing to give it another chance, though.
I loved it. And I love the character of Kusanagi and the fact that she is an android, right? Or a cyborg. And coming to find out that they can implant memories. So it's her whole thing about trying to figure out if she's real. Or is she an android? Or is she a program? And what's the point? You know, and I love that. I love that a lot. You know, Blade Runner-esque, of course.
Zach Dan says he's stuck in the stream. Chuck Keyworth seems like a new name. Good to see you, Chuck. Kirkman's Void Rivals series is a bang. Yeah, everybody likes it. I got issue. I think I have 1, 3 up, so I'm missing issue number 2. So I got to pick up issue number 2, and then I'll sit down and I'll read them all. But
Yeah,
anything Robert Kirkman, I get. I even went back and I bought his Battle Pope, which I think is just awful. Battle Pope is just like a freshman college kid, like, I'm going to be edgy.
John, with Void Rivals, if you're going to start reading them, Transformers and G.I. Joe, they're all shared universe on that.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's not G.I. Joe Real American Hero. That's the Hama series that's still going. It's just the G.I. Joe by Robert Kirkman's flagship series, Skybound. Very good. They're both good. I'm reading them both. So if you pick them both up, you will not be disappointed.
Okay. All right. Anybody want to pop in? Anybody want to say anything? Because I got nothing else to say.
Here, we'll do one more shot before it gets sent off tomorrow for the.
I'm eager to go over the comic script one final time, and then so what I do is Bill Williams, my letterer, he letters it, but he doesn't he does like a rough draft lettering, so it looks wonky. Because if he wants to change the dialogue and stuff like that, he explained what it does, but I'm not a computer guy, so he does like a loose lettering job, and then I go over everything, make sure everything's spelled right, make sure that the tails are pointed to the right character, see if there's like a better way. Oh, that word balloon is just taking up so much of the page. Let me see if there's a better way to tighten up the dialogue, things like that. and then I send the back to him. He finalizes it, and then either he or Luke is going to do the pre-press, and then that's it. It's off for printing. Yeah, check this out. Oscar should be coloring that. Oscar's coloring Marcus Kellegrew's 2-page story because that needs to be submitted to Pete Sabetti as soon as possible. You know, if so Oscar's going to put the titles on that and color it, and then he's coloring that next. Not that your Typhon one, I think.
Yeah.
I forget which.
This has to go get scanned tomorrow.
Yeah, that needs to be scanned. He says it won't be able to be put into a comic book page the way you just took a phone picture of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be professionally scanned.
Yeah. No, the one I sent you, that was only like, because this wasn't even done on the one I sent you. This was blank.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was just blank right there. So yeah, the other one was just like hey, this is just a really beta version of it.
So this is the husband to the woman that he just showed, and you can see that spear point is the tooth from one of the Grey sisters, or you know they shared one tooth and one eye, and he puts it on a spear point, and they're battling just Greek monsters and a whole bunch of horrible stuff, and they learned stuff about the fate of the Greek gods, and something bad is happening to the Earth that they need to address. That's a villain named Harmony.
Go.
So Harmony is a woman, and Harmony sings and causes everybody to just sit and chill while other people do the most horrible, awful stuff. She's kind of like marijuana. You smoke the marijuana and you're just sitting in your house playing video games for 16 hours while the world goes by and you don't care. So that's what Harmony does. She basically turns the world into peace-loving hippies. Oh man, let them do their thing. As the communists take over, or Black Lives Matter burned down the village. GITS is the poop. What is that? What gets? What is gets? I don't know what that is.
It sounds like something you would get at a Chinese place. You already saw that one.
Nice. So 2 more minutes, I'll shut this down unless somebody wants to pop in or say anything else.
I did a video the other day, and did I show you?
Ghost of the Shell. Ghost of the Shell is the poop. Okay, all right, there you go.
Did I show you I got this?
No, I've been hearing about it. Oh, that's Robert Kirkman. Okay, I got to pick it up.
Good luck finding it. I have an extra copy if you need one because I picked up 2 regulars, and this is the one in store, 1 per store. I got it for $20.
Oh wow!
It's like $80 online right now.
Okay.
No, if you can find them, John, especially where you're at with the big comic stores, there's a larger edition that's 11 by 17. That's all in black and white, no word balloons. It's just pure art. If you find that, I want it so bad.
Okay, I'll take a look.
Yeah, dude, it's just this book. I mean, David Finch's. I'm just gonna show you the first page, dude, and you'll be like, "Yeah, I'm picking that up."
I always buy just the A covers. Like I don't deal with. Oh, look at that.
This book has been in production for 7 years.
I didn't know Robert Kirkman. I'll have to pick it up.
Oh yeah, it's everything about this book is gorgeous, and Fitch's work is top. The colorist they got is pretty damn good too. Pretty darn good colorist. But for sure.
Okay.
Yep. We're not just talk nerds. We are nerds.
Yeah, we actually like comics.
Yeah.
What's it called? Skin Breakers?
Yeah, Skinbreaker. The art version is called the Treasury Edition, so that's the one I'm looking for. My old attempts at using watercolor.
Yeah, my Place by Me doesn't have it. Their inventory.
There's a Migo I did a long time ago.
Migo might show up in a future issue of Heroic Tales.
Yep.
Matter of fact, there is a villain that has a flashback in the Patriarch #1 called Headcase. And guess what Headcase is? a victim of Amigo. He's one of those brain
Oh.
but he's got robotic tentacles. So he's.
What's his name from Teen
Yeah,
Titans?
I picked up Skinbreaker. Cool, Chuck. I prefer the term geek.
Yeah.
This is how I define. Okay, so a nerd is somebody who's a little socially awkward. Okay, a geek is somebody who's totally into something. So you could be a beer geek. Like I got a friend who home brews beer, and you say anything about beer, he'll talk about the hops. He'll talk about how long it takes to make. That guy's a beer geek. My brother is a motorcycle geek. You know, my friend is a football geek, a baseball geek, and then the spaz is just somebody who's just physically uncoordinated. The kind of guy that reaches over to pick up something and then spills the coffee all over your grandmother. That's a spaz. I think the black and white is an incentive cover.
Right, but I'm looking for the treasury on Skinwalker, which is just pure art.
Yeah, I just looked it up, my local store. So, but there's 3 stores by me. So
And
maybe
if anybody in chat finds it, I'll pay for it. I want that book bad.
let's see if it's on eBay right now.
The only one I found on eBay was going for 80.
Well, yeah, I'm not paying 80.
Yeah, no way. But all issues, every issue of this series is going to have that format if you want to. So artists like me that like looking at the pure art, it's a larger format and it's just the art at the highest quality. I'm like, oh, I think more books of this caliber should be doing something like that for the audience, you know? I guess that eye's turning out all right. I've never drawn eye detail before.
It's funny. I saw one Skinbreaker Treasury Edition, but it's CGC'd. It's like, dude,
Already?
what's the point of it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's supposed to be so you could look at the art, right?
CGC is the biggest cancer to comic book collecting.
Oh, you tell me about it.
I always said it was a giant con.
Yeah. Yeah. I it's not even on eBay. I don't even see any on eBay.
Yeah.
I'll look at my store for you. Do you want all of that all that miniatures that I was showing you about on the sprues and everything?
Yeah, if you want to get if you're getting rid of them.
Yeah, how about I pack them all up in a box and mail it to you, and that'll be the payment for the 2 cards.
You've already paid me for one of the cards, Bubba.
Oh, did I?
Yes, I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh,
You already paid me.
I write it down in a notebook. So, all right. So,
We'll
whatever.
figure it out, Bubba.
Yeah.
No hurry.
I got to find out exactly how much I have, but I think I paid $300 for all of them.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, and I'm so disappointed. If I knew it was on sprues, I never would have gotten it. So a nerd has specialized knowledge. A geek has both knowledge and passion. Okay.
Then I am a geek.
I'm afraid I'm a dweeb. What would be a dweeb then, Crenshaw?
A dorky weeb.
A dorky weeb. A dweeb. Spaz. I remember that from Meatballs. Spaz. I got nothing else to talk about, guys. This
Arsene was a lop. You lop.
a lot.
Yeah. Like a pardon my, if anybody has sensitive ears, close them. It's like another word for retard.
Oh, really? A lot.
You lop. They're lopsided. They're
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think of like the specialty names that we have. Like a head was the guys who are into pot and drugs.
yeah, potheads.
Yeah, you went to your potheads. You went to the head shop.
Well, being in the punk rock scene, especially a lot during the 80s and 90s, we had to have different references because there was skinheads that weren't racist. So you refer to them as oi boys, are just skins. You don't say skinhead.
Right.
When you're talking about the Nazi skins, you call them skinheads or you call them boneheads. That was our word for differentiate the oi boys from the boneheads.
Okay.
Because people don't know, skinhead was actually a Jamaican, heavily influenced Caribbean music influence in the 1960s in England, and they shaved their head as a kind of like a push away normality. Oi boys, yeah, oi boys. And you hear like orcs, like orc language, oi,
Yeah.
oi boy, yeah.
Hey, Eric the Guapo's here.
What up, guapo?
Trying to think. Yeah, the skins, and then there was the skins for peace. I forget, but there was a bunch of punk names that I could, very quickly. I got into punk in the early '80s, and I got all caught up in it, everything, and then just as fast as I got into it, like I still always like the music, but I'm like, I don't care about the scene, I don't care about the cult, I don't care about like the conformity. I just like the music. Hey, Hojo's here. How's it going? The Mythicals. Check out the Mythicals. Sharps. That's it. That I couldn't.
Yeah.
Skinheads against racial prejudice. That's it. Sharps. I couldn't think of the word.
Yeah, and I can't believe I did too.
Yeah, it's sharps. Skinheads against racial prejudice.
We are not weird. Oh, no, I correct that. We are weird.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with weird.
Yep, weird in every positive way.
It's funny because I when you're on construction, you always have a different partner. You know what I mean? So
Right.
all week I've been on a wire pole, which is, you see all these pipes throughout the buildings. The wires got to get in them. Well, how do those wires get in? It's real interesting. What you do is you take a little like plastic balloon, you tie a string to it, you close off one end of the pipe with the string, so there's just like a plug with a little pinhole through it, so the string could go through.
Mhm.
The other end, you put a vacuum cleaner, and it just creates a vacuum, and it pulls it. Now you got a little string, and then you tie that string to a heavy rope, and you pull the rope through the pipe. Now you got a rope. You tie that rope to the actual wire, and then you pull it. So that's what we've been doing all week. It's good exercise on your arms. So that's what I've been doing. I've been but when you do a wire pull, like everybody drops what they're doing, and we all get together and do the wire pull. So I'm working with and I called him weird. Just that's weird. And he got all mad. I'm like, dude, I'm the weirdest person you've ever met. Weird is not an insult,
Just
But,
means different.
Yeah.
That's all.
yeah, weird ain't an insult. Why would you think it's an insult? That was a long explanation just to explain that. Yep, John has been on the pole all week. Yeah, that'll be clipped and I'll be made fun of and taken out of context and then insulted, because that's what Comicsgate does. They cut you out of context and make fun of you, and then claim to be the good guys. But anyway,
I don't even think they try to claim to be the good guys anymore. I think they realized they lost that battle a long time ago.
I shouldn't have brought it up. Instant regret. So, anybody want to come in? Anybody want to talk? Otherwise, that's the end of tonight's stream. I don't normally stream on Saturday nights. It's just that with my work schedule, I got to stream. Otherwise, I got like 53 new subs in the past 2 weeks.
Whee!
Yeah, which is a lot for me. Yeah, people just charge people for being weird or being normie based, but everyone should be a little weird. Yeah, nothing wrong with a little bit of weird.
As the Weird Al said, dare to be stupid.
Yeah, nothing wrong with being weird. Weird is interesting. Being normal is dull, is boring. Although being normal is also stable. So there you go. I got nothing else to say. I think we'll shut it down. So
Alrighty.
yep. So bye, kids.
Boy, and I'll talk to you tomorrow, John.
See ya. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, tomorrow 10 a.m. It's Sunday Comics. I'll be doing Brian Bow's Wolf and Batsy number 13. All right. Bye, kids.